Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I have to pause for a second because if you're dealing with this right now, I sympathize with you and we want to help you. If you're dealing with some kind of pain, chronic or otherwise, imagine living with less pain, taking the steps to get that done. We're going to help you with those steps, essentially 5. That's what we talk about here. She is somebody who's an advanced practice nurse. She helps people with this all the time. She's a wellness coach and has designed an amazing program to help with many different things, including living with less pain. And she's back with us. She is Marianne Wietbrock on the program. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, Steve. Well, it's another beautiful day, and so the weather can determine our pain level.
Yeah, that's a good point. So many of us say, "Wow, it's going to rain today. I'm in pain." I guess there's some credence to that. But I want to make sure I have your title right. You're an advanced practice board certified clinical nurse specialist. Is that right?
Yes, it's actually a privilege to be that. And so the clinical nurse specialist is poorly understood. So the clinical nurse specialist is one of 4 advanced practice nurses. And so the clinical nurse specialist, the nurse practitioner, the nurse anesthetist, and the nurse midwife. And all you clinical nurse specialists out there, I'm here to be excited about this profession. And then everyone really understands what a nurse practitioner does. She works on the medical model and she helps the doctor. She's very, very helpful with diagnosis and treatment and helping with medication management. What does a clinical nurse specialist do? Well, I always tell people, well, what does the nurse do at the bedside? The nurse helps you with your food, she helps you with your medicines, and she helps you with your moving. And I am now doing that at the advanced level. I have actually been certified in fitness and nutrition and corrective exercises with the International Sports Science Association. I'm actually a member of the American Holistic Association, and I bring the best of the research to you because all the commercials are out there are biased onto what they're selling. I'm not selling a product. I'm just selling 5 steps, which are the clue to health.
Now, when we talk about pain, what type of pain? Can we hear some examples?
Okay, so the reason why I chose pain as our first topic to talk about on this series that we have today is that pain is the number one complaint when you go to a doctor's office. Okay, so there's many different kinds of pains, and we can start head to toe. People have head pains, migraines, neck pains, shoulder pains, chest pains, abdominal pains, pains in all of their joints, leg pains, feet pain. And so I'm here to tell you that people suffer much more than they should. And medications is not always the remedy or the only remedy. And so I'm here to help you with that and guide you. Now, over the weekend, I was talking with someone about their diet, and they found out that if they could eat the right things, they wouldn't have these headaches. My 5-steps.net program is actually designed just for people with pain, with weight loss, and for helping people feel better. And so the pain is a big part of that. And so how do we do that? Well, there's so many different variables to your pain. Nutrition is one of them. What are you feeding your body? Because we hear about the anti-inflammatory, the antioxidants. What does all that mean? Well, it means that those need to be antis. We don't want inflammation. We don't. And antioxidants is we need good oxygenation. And when you put all this together, it's actually beneficial to your body, and you feel and move better. people with hip pains. You see people walking with canes, limping, their knees hurt. And so all of that is can be remedied with a program where you're actually moving and living with less pain. And the 5-step wellness, 5steps.net basically program, we have 5 steps we look at. We look at nutrition. We look at hydration. Okay. And then we look at sleep and rest. We look at moving, and stretching, and motion. And so when you put all this together, every day, okay, we find people are having better quality of life and they have less pain.
How often is our pain connected to our food and nutrition? And can some pain directly correlate to that? And if not, if we are dealing with pain issues, can diet and nutrition exacerbate it?
So 3 heavy questions there. So what you do eat does make a difference on how you feel. Now, food, okay, was not designed in the original to be processed. And processed food has a lot of chemicals, substances, things that you didn't realize it had in it. Okay, there's a lot of problems with processed food. Now, I'm not here to say that, I don't ever eat processed food, but I can say that all weekend, okay, I lived eating unprocessed food. So that moment last week when I had to eat some food that wasn't ideal for this, but it was the situation that I was mounted to, then my overall inflammatory rate or level was lower. So it wasn't that impact that actually would have caused some pain. Now, some people live with a very high level of inflammation and poor oxygenation, and then it just mounts. And over time, you don't realize that you actually are doing less and less and less until all of a sudden you're like, well, I can't walk down the street. Or all of a sudden now I can't walk to the doctor's. And they're like, I used to run, or I used to, be the football player or the cheerleader. And now all of a sudden, over time, life happens. Life does happen. Life happens to all of us. It's creeped up where all of a sudden you're doing less. And so flexibility, stretching, antioxidants, and you want to know the impact of that every day. I see the impact for myself and for other people.
Do many of us just live, and I think I know the answer based on what you just said, but do many of us just suck it up when it comes to pain? And it becomes a way of life to the point where we're not living life to the fullest, but we're just dealing with the pain. Does that happen a lot?
Yes. And so actually, pain is the 5th vital sign. We get your heart rate, your blood pressure, your oxygenation, and then in your rhythm. And then all of a sudden we're asking you about your pain. Well, pain can influence every one of those. And pain does speak to you, whether you listen or not. And so there are times where you need to go see your doctor. And if you're putting it off, there's some tests. If you can get onto my program and immediately don't feel better in a couple of weeks, you need to go see your doctor. Because the pain is suggesting to you that there could be something wrong. But when you actually can work on your diet first, which basically all the research says that lifestyle, which is fitness, nutrition, rest, hydration, moving more, when you actually put those together, they do work.
Hmm.
They are the secret to life.
See, processed food, it sounds like it's the worst thing you could be doing for your body. Would you agree?
So processed food was made to, it's kind of like the pill. The pill, when you're prescribed a pill, the pill's made to make you look better, feel better, see better, grow better hair, better skin, and some of those processed foods that are considered diet related, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Now, there are some places in some parts of the country that have grocery stores now that are actually making real food and selling that as far as quick grabs. Those actually look at, I wasn't able to examine those fully, but they do look like they're actually a better product, less processed food, less because they're the food. Okay, when you look at preservatives, okay, the preservatives are to have better color, better lasting power, better taste, better storage, and better, freshness, flakiness. And so there's an ingredient for every one of those. Okay. And then one to make, fill you up, and so then, you have stomach pains. There's another pain. Okay. So eating, okay, better foods will actually, you will have better digestion, less pain, less heartburn. And so when you put all these together, it's now, am I here to put anyone out of business? No, I'm here to say that we need better balance.
Mm. Well, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I found these breakfast patties that were vegetable, just taste like meat, comes from plant-based. I was like, oh, great. Not that I'm against meat at all. But I was like, you know what? Let me try that. Morningstar Farms. Sounds like a farm. Fantastic. Tasted really good. I used to make my own little breakfast sandwiches, and be very careful with it. Put a little bit of cheese, not like I'm going to a fast food place and I don't know what I'm getting. I didn't eat it all the time, but I was like, I think I'm doing something better for myself and maybe, putting a pause on meat for a day. And like look at the package and it's made by a company called Kellanova. Okay, Kellanova, whatever. Then I looked closer and the K in Kellanova looked very familiar. Kellanova is Kellogg's. So talk about processed. Here I am thinking I'm getting these plant-based patties that taste like a hamburger for breakfast. I can't imagine what kind of processing went into that. Again, not putting anybody out of business, but um, it's not just plant. To take it from one form to turn it into another form, there's got to be some chemical action going on there. Your thoughts on all of this kind of stuff where packaging is everything.
Yes, and so then we actually on the 5steps.net program, okay, I have actually helped you. There's a full recipe book on there, and people say, "Well, I don't have time to cook," and I hear this all the time. Well, I don't have time to cook either. Okay, and so when I make my food, and literally, I live in my recipe book. Literally, these are things that are actually kid tested, mom approved, and actually tasty, and they basically help you get through your day with energy. And that's, when you have pain, it's very draining. When you have energy, you don't have pain. And so people forget what that feels like. And then before you know it, a day's gone by, a week's gone by, a month's gone by, and it's so kind of an eye opener when you can actually eat the foods on the program And it's not
Mm.
any special foods that you can't get in any grocery store, and actually make it and feel good and feel energized and lose inches and lose weight, less weight on your bones. And that's what it's all about. You want
Mm.
to live gracefully and age gracefully, because we are all aging gracefully no matter what age you are.
It's inevitable. You're going to age, you might as well do it gracefully. Somebody told me, let's pivot over from nutrition to corrective exercise in general for pains that we have. Somebody told me recently, and it was kind of a wake up, that sitting is now the new smoking.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then my back hurts, and my feet are numb, and I can't stand to wash dishes, or I can't walk without pain. To the 5step.net. It's actually the 5-step wellness program, and you can find it at 5-steps.net. Actually helps you over time reverse that. Did you know your body heals itself? You can reverse it. And when I see people that have been traveling salesmen, or people that have worked at a desk, and they find that this program has actually worked and made them feel so much better, they don't want to go back, because they have found, that when they do the stretch exercises for the hips or the knees that we have on there, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. And I can walk without pain. Now, some of it can happen right away. Some of it can be gradual. But people get tight, and over time, the tightness just settles in. And then you have back pain, and back pain is probably the number one pain.
Mm.
And taking medicines actually can be harmful if not taken in the right way. And so I am not here to tell you not to take your medicines prescribed by your physician. We want to make sure that I do not have script authority as a clinical nurse specialist in what I do. And so I want to say that your doctor's prescriptions, you need to work with your physician when you're doing this program, because you need to talk to him about what you're doing, because if he needs to make adjustments, he needs to be the one to make that call. Now, if you're taking over-counter medications, which you can go into a shop now and a grocery store, or you can go into a supplement store, and there are so many different pills that you can take. And I have found that some people take too many of these pills, and it's causing them harm, to the point that they are actually harming their liver or their kidneys or their stomach. And those actually are harmful when they're not taken it correctly. And so you want to make sure that you read the labels, but that you minimize those to the point that you're not living on those maximum doses without the correct labels. And so we want to make sure that everyone's safe with what they're doing, because pain management is a big deal in this country and in your world potentially. And we want to make sure that you're being safe about it. So I welcome everyone to the 5-steps.net to help your pain be better, so that you can live with less medications, less over-counter medications. You can get stuff in the internet. I mean, you can get all kinds of stuff. Now, actually, I have salesmen calling me, oh, here, would you like this trial this medicine? I'm like, no. I told the other people in my office, don't let anyone drop any medicines off to my office. And so we need to be very careful. Just because they were designed and they're there does not mean that that's actually the best way to go. That's only one angle of your problem. Treatment plan. We need to make sure that you have a well-rounded lifestyle treatment plan for your pain. And you can do that with this at 5-steps.net. And I can tell you that 90% of people that do this program have less medications. And you want to make sure that you're engaging with your physician if there's a prescription involved, because blood sugars are less, pain medicine is less, GI medicine's less, everything is less and more stable, and you feel better.
I'm going to get to that program in just a moment, but I want to back up personally what you just said in terms of the stretching. So 2 years ago, I thought I was in the best shape I've been in decades. Had a trainer, uh, just was I was in good space. 2 years later, I just got back with the same trainer, and I've realized that my mobility has been compromised so much. The whole stretching as you get older is everything, everything. And now I work out, but I have to stretch and I'm still stiff. And what is it from? Sitting for long periods of time. So we don't realize it until we start being mindful of what is happening to our bodies. Let's say you take on a new role or you're slowing down a little bit. Um, it's not good. And what are you going to do? You're going to go to the doctor, like you said, get meds. But what is that? That is masking the problem or not getting to the root cause of it. Your website has videos on it, instruction. I want to make sure I have this right. You pay one fee and it's lifetime access. Is that right?
Yes, one-time fee, $97, and you have the full recipe book. You have all of the videos. Okay, it's stretch videos, core workouts, weights, how to start using weights. And I'm here to tell you that no matter what your level is, I'm going to start you where you're at, and I'm going to challenge you. And now we progress this gradually. So we want to make sure that if you have just had surgery, that's not the time to go out and start doing weights. If you're not 14 yet, that's not the time to go out and start doing weights. But I can tell you that this program, if you can't do the core, I have an exercise that helps you develop that to where you can start doing your core. And it's very exciting when people can all of a sudden start doing it. It's something that over and over, when you actually build this into your lifestyle, that's what this is, then you actually have the ability to do what other people are doing. And you're doing it with less pain, and you're doing it with more energy, and you're feeling good about it.
I haven't done the program yet, but even just getting slightly back on track with a little bit of stretching, a little bit of exercise, I've seen a difference there. Just a slight, I haven't done a lot and I've seen this much of a difference. I can't imagine looking at the videos on your website, which is 5-steps.net. When you immerse yourself and really do it right, my gosh. I mean, now I'm not in pain when I, pick up something off the floor. It's almost embarrassing. I'm embarrassed that I have such less mobility in just a couple of years. But that's what happens as you get older, and you have to continue on that path. Even more so to be diligent about your health. Would you say that it's an equal blend of nutrition and exercise, or is it more nutrition, less exercise? If you had to put it in, a ratio.
No, I think it's both. Okay, so now I'm not asking you to spend an hours in the gym or hours doing my videos. My videos mostly are only 10 to 20 minutes at the very most. Most of them are 10 to 15 minutes a day. And my menus in the recipe book take, basically less than 5 minutes to prepare. And then you actually can now bake it, cook it, whatever. I'm not spending all day in the kitchen, and I'm eating healthy. We don't have a lot of time these days. We have so much on our plates. And so, but you do have some time to carve out where you can do some stretches, some videos, video work, and work on in some recipes, which literally, I think of this every day. Oh, this is such great food. If everyone could know how good to feel, and by doing what we do here, it would be gold.
Yeah. We're in a GPS lifestyle where we need direction. You don't even get in your car and go somewhere that you haven't been before without GPS. Even if you've been there, you forget. And this is it. This is the GPS for great health. I look at it this way. The full access for $97. Look what you're paying. I'm paying for a trainer. It's more than that. In even 2 sessions. So fantastic. Double checking the website, 5-steps.net, correct?
Yes, Steve, there you go.
Excellent. Marianne, thanks for being here today. Learned a lot. It just backs up what I've unfortunately learned a little too late. I need to catch up on things in terms of the stretching and even the processed food. And appreciate you being here. Looking forward next time we get together.
Great, you started it, and you're well on your way.
And I'm in less pain, but I could be doing better, and I know that because I only do it when I'm a trainer. Now I could do it anytime just by getting the program. Thanks again.
Yes, thanks, Steve. And we'll see you next, actually in 2 weeks. And we're going to be talking about better digestion and to relieve those stomach upsets.
I don't believe there's anybody that doesn't have digestion issues from time to time. So looking forward to that. Thanks again.
That's on June 3rd at 1:00 Eastern time.
Excellent. We'll see you then.
Okay. Bye, Steve.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.